The people who share our values are so out of touch with how evil the traditional institutions are in this nation, the institutions that they previously have attended, and that they will not only still patronize these institutions, they'll write them big checks, they'll send their kids there, and then they'll come to neighborhood parties and brag about it. And I'll just sit there with my jaw hanging open because I know the love and care that parent took with that kid. I know that kid, 18 years of love and care and values and manners, and you're so proud, but you're so unplugged. You're so not wired in that you send them off to the wolves. And like clockwork, 2 years later, Jesse, I can't believe it. Aiden came home. He's got 20 rings in his face and a Joe Biden sticker on his car. And he hates my guts. And what do you want me to tell you?
It's crazy. It's the world we live in now. Joining me now, I love this guy just for the institution he founded. Legal Insurrection is one of the better organizations in this country out there, really doing some awesome stuff. He's also a law professor at Cornell. Bill Jacobson. Bill, the university system in this country, I sympathize with these neighbors, with these friends of mine, because they're proud of their kids. And they went to Stanford, right? I went to Duke. And they want that for their child because they love their child and they don't understand what they're doing. But man, it's bad.
Yeah, well, I've argued for a long time that the university systems throughout the country, there's no one that's worse than the others, cannot be reformed internally, that they have been captured essentially by a left-wing ideology, call it progressivism, call it whatever you want to call it. It's a monoculture at most universities. It certainly is a monoculture at Cornell and all of the Ivy League institutions. And the best proof of that is looking at the faculty makeup. At Cornell, I think the Cornell Sun newspaper, 97 or 98 or 99% of faculty donations go to Democrats. I forget which group it was, did a survey of the humanities departments at Cornell. Only one out of about 100 was a registered Republican. So it's a monoculture. And it's really a problem, and parents don't really understand what they're feeding their kids into.
How has this changed over your lifetime in the university system? I understand universities, they've been liberal since before I was born, but they haven't been like this. How has it changed? How fast has it changed?
Well, I've only been at Cornell 15 years. I was in private law practice before that. But if you look at the studies and you go back 30 years, you're right. Academia has always leaned left. So if you look 30, 40 years ago, it was about self-identified 60 to 40 liberals versus conservatives. If you look at the most recent data, which is only a couple of years old, it's something like 28 to 1 identifying as liberal versus conservative. And if you look at the youngest group of incoming professors, the ones who've been hired in the last 10, something like 40 to 1. So what's happened in academia is that the left took over the hiring and they only hire their own. I could never have been hired at Cornell if I had my website when they hired me. I didn't start it for another year. And that's just the reality of it, that if you look at all of Cornell University, 1,700 approximately faculty members, you could count on less than one hand the number who publicly identify as politically conservative. That's how skewed it is.
Support the First TV today and get instant access to exclusive specials like Who is Ron DeSantis, the history of FBI scandals, and America's worst presidents. Visit thefirsttv.com/support or download the First TV app to become a supporter and start watching today.